what we're wanting to do is have people, break away from their phones and break away from their TVs and get back into their communities, get to know their neighbors, and give back in their communities so that that way they're building community and that community is stronger as a result of their efforts.
In your studies and your discoveries, have you found that a smaller town is easier to possibly make that change than it is a larger? I mean, it seems like it would be an obvious, but then I'm not really sure.
I think it really depends. I mean, small towns oftentimes have larger geographies between neighbors. And so they don't actually run into each other the same way you do in larger towns. Think about New York and how many people you run into at the subway and at the grocery store. And you're almost having to have common courtesy just on a sidewalk, because you're passing so many people. So I definitely, I mean, I grew up in the country. I jokingly say I'm a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. And so there are aspects of the country I really like, which is when I drive past people, people wave at me. They're very much connected to each other. So if something happens to a neighbor, they're diving in to support them. But it also creates an anonymity, where you don't have to necessarily know your neighbor, as a result, and you're not connecting with human beings. And so I think it really comes down to the person and you really deciding that it's important for you to give back and it's important for you to be a neighbor to your neighbor, to build back community. And I think that's something we all have to really make a New Year's resolution and try to do that. And so I have three things that I do, which I think anybody can do. So one is on Fridays, I have what I call Friday spots, where I look back on my week and I actually identify five people who have made a significant difference in my life. And so it could be in a small thing. Maybe, they sent me a really great email, or maybe they said something to me that I thought was really significant. And so I just text them on that Friday. And interestingly enough, it gives me a boost as well. And I usually do it at 9 a.m. So it kind of is my thing I look forward to on a Friday. And it's just a simple way of showing gratitude to people. And you'd be shocked like how many people respond back going, this just made my day, that you acknowledge that this thing mattered to you that I did. The other thing is that I try really hard to do the hope scrolling. So it is easy to fall in the doom scrolling category, but each of us with the T of testimony can identify people who've been doing good things. It's so much easier to leave a negative review versus a positive review on Yelp. It's so easier to get frustrated and post that, this company did something that you didn't like, or this person didn't do something you liked. They have those epic fail sites. But what about an epic succeed site? Where you show people who have gone out of their way to help somebody else. And I think there are more of those things that are happening. We just, hope just doesn't have a good PR engine. The same way I think sometimes the epic fails do. And then the last thing I really recommend to people is just find a way for at least 30 minutes every single week to find a way to give back. And it could be just someone on your street that is homebound and you make extra food on a Sunday because you love baking like I do, and just taking something to them, like physically walking over to them, and saying, do you need anything? So leaves are falling right now. So can we rake your leaves as well? Um, that connection makes such a difference. And so it can be something small. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be something really minor. And that's what I tell people is just spend 30 minutes and you will get the benefits of it because you will feel better. And then it's the whole pay it forward concept. People will do these things for you too. And so I think those are the small things that I do every week and they make a big difference.